Why is everything costing more? From groceries to rent, your cash just doesn't stretch as far as it used to. The why? It's known as the CPI inflation rate. In today's video, we'll explain it so you know how this figure affects your life quietly and what you can do to get ahead. Let's begin with the fundamentals. CPI is short for Consumer Price Index. It's a method of measurement to see how much prices are increasing over time. Think of a large basket consisting of items such as food, shelter, transportation, healthcare, and education. Each month, government economists monitor how much these goods cost and compare them to what they used to cost. When prices increase, that indicates the CPI has increased, and that's inflation. But CPI is more than just a figure economists like to bandy about. It's a measure of people's real-life struggles. When inflation is higher, your income remains the same but everything else costs more. It impacts the cost of the milk in your refrigerator, the rent you pay on your apartment, the fuel in your car, and even the rate on your loans. So what is inflation today in 2025? Current reports indicate that the CPI inflation rate has risen higher than anticipated. The price of living increases, particularly for staple products such as groceries, fuel, and shelter. This strains the middle and low-income households that already allocate most of their pay towards necessities. Why is inflation increasing? It's a combination of things. Supply chain disruptions that began in the pandemic are continuing to influence prices. Labor shortages have driven up wages, which companies then pass along to consumers. Geopolitical tensions and oil shocks have also increased transportation and energy costs. In addition, government stimulus funds from previous years added to the money supply, pushing demand faster than supply could match. So what does the government do when inflation increases? The central bank, like the Federal Reserve in the United States, raises interest rates. This is designed to slow borrowing and spending, which theoretically should get inflation under control again. Higher interest rates, however, also translate into higher loan payments for ordinary folks, a home loan, a car loan, or credit card debt. Some think that the CPI doesn't accurately capture the cost of living. They say that the government's basket of items isn't comprehensive and doesn't account for everything that people pay for. And sometimes substitution or quality adjustment makes inflation appear lower than it really is in people's day-to-day experience. That would mean the real effect of inflation actually might be even more severe than the official statistics indicate. So how do you shield yourself from inflation? First, invest your money. Money devalues with time in times of inflation, so invest your savings in assets such as stocks, property, or inflation-indexed bonds. Second, earn more money if you can. Acquire new skills, have a side business, or request a raise to match increasing expenses. Third, reduce unnecessary expenses. Monitor your expenses and allocate your resources to what is most important to you. Companies must also adjust. If you have a small company, you might pay more for materials, shipping, or labor. You would need to raise prices or search for lower-cost suppliers. Cash flow management and keeping an emergency fund become even more critical during inflation. Understanding inflation is the first step in managing it. The CPI might seem like a technical economic term, but it directly affects your wallet, your job, your savings, and your long-term plans. By staying informed and making smart financial decisions, you can protect yourself and your family from its impact. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and share with someone who wants to take charge of their financial future. See you in the next video.